Good evening, everyone. I am Angel from Lima in Peru, and this is my channel, Reading Means Life. Well, continuing with the Mario Vargas Llosa challenge this year, I want to show you his fourth novel, Captain Pantoja and the Special Service, published in Spain by Seix Barral in 1973. In 309 pages, this novel tells us a story that, according to him, was based on real facts. Let's start. In the 1950s, there were too many rapes in the Amazon committed by troops stationed there. No woman was safe, right? And single, married, young, old women. So the military high command decided to provide them with a special service, to provide the troops, of course, which has the eccentric name Audit Services for Garrison and Border-related Posts. To put it bluntly and without any euphemisms, prostitutes. Well, Captain Pantaleon Pantoja has a lot of discipline, he has a sense of duty, and it makes him the best candidate to organize all of that. As the novel is a comical one, the reader laughs constantly at the dilemma that it generates. A man of solid principles, who is reluctant at first, but then proves to be a truly efficient administrator, explaining percentages and statistics, okay, some projections, being helped by Leonor Curinchilla, Chuchupe, or the Madam. Chuchupe is the name of a snake in the Amazon, and Porfirio Wong, or the Chinese. They helped him find and select the visitors, well, the prostitutes, of whom Luisa Canepa, also known as Pechuga, which means breast, and especially Olga Arellano, the Brazilian one, clearly stand out. Well, Pantaleon moved to Iquitos, the most important city in the Amazon, with his innocent wife Francisca, or Pochita. She knows nothing, but soon rumors concerning the existence of Pantilandia spread throughout the city. Pantilandia is the brothel, okay, in which, sex is performed. Well, how does she know it? Courtesy of El Sinchi. Sinchi is a Quechua word that means warrior. El Sinchi is a radio presenter who publicly denounces the degradation of values inside the armed forces, but well, he privately asks Captain Pantoja to give him some money in order to conceal the scandal. Well, communicating vessels link the many main and secondary stories as a whole that doesn't lose coherence at all. Even though in the film adaptation in 1998, I think, reference to the Brotherhood of the Ark led by the infamous brother Francisco, a sect which believed in impaling babies, animals, and people, was omitted at all, right? Since the men of the neighboring towns were envious and they demanded to be benefited from the visitor service and not getting any concessions, they decided to attack the boat Eva, or Eve, as you can find it here, right? Which, with the hydroplane, I suppose it's its name, Delilah or Dalila, it transported the visitors. Okay, those, and the colors here show the uniform that the visitors had. Well, so they decided to attack the boat. They raped the visitors in there, and they killed the Brazilian, impaling her. Okay, to make it seem a crime by the Brotherhood. One of the last parts of the novel, this part being a real tragicomedy, is the prostitute's funeral. Captain Pantoja forgets about the secret mission he had, which by that time was everything but secret, to be honest, and gives a moving speech. In short, a funeral with all the military honors. Well, in Spanish there is a saying that says, God forgives sin but not scandal. Well, having that into account, the military authorities feel ashamed of both doing that to a mere prostitute and confirming the key role that the army authorities had, thus sending Pantoja very far in the altiplano and ending anything related to the visitors. Well, I loved reading this novel because of its satirical nature. It has been very easy to read, okay, unlike his previous three novels. Corruption in the armed forces goes from beginning to end. And the novel is not divided precisely in chapters, but many types of documents, let's say letters, a transcription of Helsinki's radio program, military reports, mainly written by Pantoja, and some private letter by Pochita. Well, Mr. Vargas Llosa boasts a highly impressive knowledge of the style and vocabulary intrinsically associated with the army. Though serious and formal, it is ridiculous. That vocabulary is ridiculous since it goes from the calculus of how many times each visitor should perform, how many single men are to have access to the service, salaries, and even aphrodisiac properties of certain Amazon substances. So I couldn't stop laughing, of course. The description of the Amazon in general and the city of Iquitos in particular might sound offensive to many. I remember having read something about it, something like that in his autobiography, that he was accused of portraying Amazonian women as prostitutes or potential prostitutes, a city that stimulates the sexual appetites of anyone who goes there, and women seen, especially by Pochita, as husband stealers, home wreckers. Having said that, it is still a wonderful novel, interesting to say the least. It gives us, some sense of something, as we in Spanish say, something fresh, throughout the, as opposed to other deeper topics that he develops in other novels. And this, though satirical, the humorous, also shows something that affects Peru in particular and Latin America in general: corruption in the armed forces, corruption in or among the authorities. That's why I really recommend reading this novel. I had a prejudice. I believed that it was going to be just a pornographic novel, but no, it has been really funny, and it has transported us to a decade, a time in a very far away place in the Amazonia that maybe for a person from Lima it might not be so familiar. I really recommend reading that. You really should, and I gave it 5 stars. Of course, that's a real classic. Bye bye.